Wild West plays itself out in West Park, Florida. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. This video is brought to you today by P.A.N. Firearms LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for your NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or visit our website at panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. But let's talk about this. West Park, Florida, a dog breeder was selling very expensive puppies. 3 teenagers showed up posing as buyers, and the meeting devolved into a shootout.
And now to a frightening video here you'll only see on Local 10 News. A homeowner fighting back and getting into a shootout with 3 dog robbers. The crooks claimed they wanted to buy the victims expensive French bulldogs, but that's when it all took a very scary and violent turn. Local 10's Sinella Sabovic is live now with our exclusive tonight. Sinella.
Well, Calvin, this video is pretty wild. The woman was simply trying to sell 2 dogs that she breeds. That act nearly cost her life. The entire ordeal was caught on camera. The people responsible remain on the run this evening. It was like a scene out of a movie, a gun battle over pricey exotic dogs. This woman, in fear for her and her girlfriend's life, is forced to fire after a group of young men start shooting at her. A bullet narrowly misses her head, and she ducks behind her car for cover.
We got a knock on the door. I noticed one of the people's faces.
The 3 young men you can clearly see in this Ring video went to the woman's West Park home around 7:30 Monday night. She breeds exotic dogs, and she figured they were there to inquire about them. She noticed something seemed a bit off and asked,
"What the hell is going on right here?" As soon as I turn around, that's when he grabbed me, and then his boys got all frantic.
One of the men then grabbed the woman, holding her at gunpoint. There was a struggle.
And as soon as I turned around, he went and the other guy that was standing here went and put his arm around me, put the gun to my head, and then I started screaming, trying to like wiggle myself out.
They were like trying to drag her out. I don't know for what reason. They had her by her neck, trying to drag her out with the gun to her head.
The trio take off with 2 exotic micro bullies, similar to the dogs you see here. They are worth about $4,000 each. The robbers don't leave quietly either. They shoot at the woman, and that's when she goes into her home to grab her gun.
I would have done anything to protect my girlfriend in my home, and my biggest goal was to just make sure that she was okay and we lived to see tomorrow.
So BSO investigators say this woman was defending her home, so she will not face any charges here. They also tell me that there are 4 people responsible for this crime, 3 that you saw on camera, and 1 person was apparently the getaway driver. So investigators need help from the public this evening. If you recognize those men in the surveillance video that we showed, give BSO a call, or you can remain anonymous and call Broward Crime Stoppers at 954-493-TIPS. We're reporting live this evening. Sinella Sabovic, Local 10 News.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a look here at, this is from fox8live.com. West Park, Florida. A Florida woman was involved in a shootout Monday night after she was robbed of her pricey exotic dogs. The woman said she was in fear for her and her girlfriend's lives and forced to fire after a group of young males, said by law enforcement to be juveniles, started shooting at her. The 3 teens who can be seen in the woman's Ring video went to her West Park home around 7:30 at night. The woman, who wished to remain anonymous, breeds exotic dogs, and she figured that they were there to inquire about them. She noticed something seemed a bit off and asked, "What the hell is going on right here?" As soon as I turned around, that's when he grabbed me, and then his boys got all frantic, she said. One of the teens grabbed the woman, holding her at gunpoint, and then there was a struggle. As soon as I turned around, the other guy that was standing here went to put his arm around me, put the gun to my head, and then I started screaming, trying to wiggle myself out, she said. The woman's girlfriend said they were trying to drag her out. I don't know for what reason. They had her by the neck, trying to drag her out with a gun to her head. The trio took off with 2 micro bully puppies worth about $4,000 each. The group didn't leave quietly. They shot at the woman, and that's when she grabbed her gun. The woman's Ring video shows her ducking behind her car for cover as she exchanged gunfire with the group. I would have done anything to protect my girlfriend and my home, and my biggest goal was to make sure she was okay, and we live to see tomorrow, she said. Investigators said the woman was defending her home and she's not facing any charges. Deputies said there were 4 suspects involved. The 4th was waiting in the getaway car. The 2 suspects, both 16 years old, have been arrested so far, according to authorities. The woman's stolen dogs have not been located. Read all that just for clarity and context. Now, let's start with the obvious. 2 16-year-olds with handguns. Gun control does not work, but that's a whole nother subject. Okay. As you heard from the video and read, 2 of the teens were caught. What we're going to do is focus on what we saw. Before we dig deeper, let me disclaimer. I fully understand and acknowledge adrenaline, fear, stress within a given situation. But let's look at the video in depth. First, the news that no one, not even the perpetrators, was injured by the exchange of gunfire between the homeowner and 3 criminals is nothing short of a blessing. But the response and subsequent handling of the firearm by the homeowner is egregious, from my opinion, to say the least. I am not judging the homeowner's ability to defend herself, nor her lack of experience with the firearm. She did what she had to do, but what one can get from this event is a better understanding of engaging threats. So let's take a look at this video, which I will, as always, I'll leave all my links in the description box. So it opens up, the video starts with the teens fleeing the home. I'm talking about just the exchange. I'm not talking about prior when they showed up posing as buyers. And they've all fled. One's going left, one's going right. And the other one stops, comes back, picks up something. Hey, it definitely has a handgun in his hand, and heads back out. Now, they're all clear of the property at this moment. This is when the homeowner comes forward with what appears to be a 9mm AR platform pistol and begins shooting. But let's look at how she's shooting. She is not engaging targets visually. She is errantly firing over the top of the car while she is ducked below it. You can't see what you're shooting at. And the bullets are flying into what appears to be, from the video again, 2-story residential homes. The rule is always know what you're shooting at. Know what you're shooting at and what is beyond that. None of these suspects are in the view of the camera as she's shooting over the car. So she's just shooting errantly. She's not looking. You can see this getaway vehicle leaving there. Now, here's the next section that really brings an eyebrow raiser. I'm going to slow these down a little bit so you can see this. She stood up to shoot over the car. Then, as fire was coming at her, you saw the bullet strike just to the left of the ring camera. She ducks down behind the car, bringing the weapon through many angles of deflection, but still pulling the trigger, which means she is no longer engaging anybody who's a threat to her. She is just pulling the trigger. As she ducks down behind the car, she's pulling the trigger, which means bullets are flying off, which I assume above her roof line. The angle looks, steep enough to say it's going past her roof line. But those bullets have to come down somewhere. Newton's law of gravity they're coming down somewhere else. Okay, and at this moment, the suspects are all gone, and she, they don't see her recovering from the duck. They pretty much cut it off right as she stops behind the car and then stands up. Okay, here's, once again, my interpretation of what I am seeing. When the perpetrators were fleeing, there was no valid reason to open fire. Once a threat has retreated, secure the area, your home, and remain armed until police respond. I cannot speak to her state of mind. But this is without question completely unnecessary. If you can't see your target, do not fire. Especially with other homes in such close proximity. From the video, I believe, as I pointed out, these are 2-story structures. The chances of stray bullets becoming a hazard to her neighbors rises exponentially. Once again, not a necessary response with the suspects that are fleeing. Okay? As I said before, the scene when she ducked behind the car, she ducked behind the car as she kept pulling the trigger, moving the gun through angles of deflection. doing so, which once again is not a direct contact with her suspects. I call them suspects, I just carte blanche criminals, and everybody in the immediate area is in danger. That's a complete lack of trigger discipline. You can see she takes cover behind the car and moves the firearm from above the car to take cover, and she's firing through the whole movement. Once again, not necessary. Once again, to make it clear, I am not dismissing her reaction to the threat, her state of mind, nor the outcome. It was basically positive. No one, including herself, was hurt. But I see a person who has little firearms training beyond the purchase, training that is necessary to develop the discipline that comes with using a firearm in a defensive situation. The state of Florida has guidelines for the use of deadly force, and in this case, they determined she was within her rights. Applying the same situation, if I was to bring the same situation to Connecticut, I can't help but feel with the physical evidence video, she might have found herself in a different legal position. But let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, any comments of violence or action to violence will be deleted. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell and receive notices when video goes live. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.